that's really when the mom guilt sets in. It's always, again, we go to bed at night, just like we do it in the morning when we wake up. It's like you can't shut it off. Like our brain, it doesn't turn off. And that's when all those thoughts come of, like, oh, I could have did this, or I should have said this, or I could have handled that differently, or I shouldn't have snapped at them, or, all those thoughts, all of everything, all of that just hits so it's just finding the balance. So that way I can lay my head on the pillow every night and feel like I did my best.
Welcome to Finding My Best Self, the podcast that celebrates the extraordinary in every woman. Each week, your host, Pam Rivette, will share practical how-to advice, empowering you with strategies and insights to navigate life's complexities. We'll welcome inspiring guests, women who have defied the odds, transformed obstacles into opportunities, and are redefining what success truly means. From navigating personal and professional challenges to celebrating triumphs in fitness, self-care, and beyond, we explore it all. Whether you're seeking motivation or a spark of inspiration, this is your sanctuary for empowerment, authentic conversations, and a whole lot of real talk. So lace up your sneakers, grab that cup of coffee, and let's embark on this journey together, exploring the lives of women who are making it happen, sharing both the struggles and the victories. Welcome to Finding My Best Self, where every episode is a step towards becoming the hero of your own story.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Finding My Best Self. Today, we decided we're talking about mom guilt because
dun, dun, dun.
Mandy and I are experiencing this a lot right now. So we're like, we know we're not alone in this, so why not talk about it? Because it's a real thing and it sucks. It's a crappy feeling to have your kids begging and pleading like, Mom, play with us or hang out with us. And, we have other things to take care of. And so I think we're both kind of experiencing that a lot right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially with everything we have going on with MBS Fit Co, but just in general, like I feel like we've gone through this as just as a mom, as my kids have been in different seasons of life. I feel like each season, regardless of what I'm doing, I constantly get that mom guilt or that it's not like a shame. They're not shaming me, but I feel like sometimes I feel like they are because, they're pointing out all the things we're doing. So get off your phone or, come play with me or let's, watch a movie without you, nodding off because half the time I'm falling asleep the second we lay down and watch a movie. But, it's just, but I also don't think that they really understand what all we do. So It's just, it's constantly trying to remind them that like, yes, I do all these things and, to sit down and to really like be present with them is tough.
Yeah. It's because we do so much, it's like, it's from the second that we open our eyes, and I know everybody can relate to this, right? Is that the second we open our eyes, we go into that mode of the to-do list, right? For the day. Like I have to do this and this and this and this. So then that starts. And then it's everything after that. It's getting everybody ready to get out the door on time. It's, packing lunches, taking everybody to school or, going to work. And after work, it's running the kids all over the place. And then we have to come home and it's the cooking and the cleaning, not to mention whenever we have to order groceries or pick up groceries or go grocery shopping. And then we come home and trying to also make time for our spouse whenever they get home or significant other. And then all the while trying to still squeeze in that time for ourselves. Right. So it's just like all the things. It's the never ending cycle and battle. And, when you have the kids that, in those moments when they're like, hey, Mom, put your phone down, like you said, and then it's that guilt that sets in of, or for me, mostly it's when, I don't get my workout in earlier in the day before the kids come home. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go work out. And Jillian, especially my youngest, she's like, oh, you always have to work out.
You always are working.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's, you and I were talking off camera before we started. It's that, we want them to see and know that like, yes, this is what I'm doing, because we're also setting that example too. It's whenever they're like, oh, you're working again, or, oh, you're working out again. It's that balance of I need to take care of myself, but B, I'm also trying to be a good role model for you. But then at the same time, it's that, after it's all said and done, I'm like, I feel like a crappy mom because my kid's begging for attention. And
Yeah.
it's
Well,
hard.
and I think it's that too. And like you said, with the kids like watching us, because we know like they're watching every little thing that we do. So, I have three girls at home, and I want to show them what's possible, or that you can go after your dreams, or you can do hard things, and and take care of your body, or eat healthy and all these different things. So whenever they give me that guilt behind it, I try and explain that like this is why. Like it's not just me being on my phone, or it's not just me taking time out of our time to go work out. Like come work out with me. Like we're trying to do things healthier. We're trying to take care of our body because we want to be able to do all these amazing things in life. And so I was just talking to Kenny, my husband, last night about it. And I'm like, I feel guilty, but then I don't, because I'm showing them that you can balance things. It is possible.
Yeah.
Is it a struggle every single day? Absolutely. Because half the time it's like when we're doing things, I'm thinking about other things that I need to do. But it's almost like we talked about in previous episodes, like stopping yourself and really just trying to be present and in the moment, because your kids need that. Obviously, we need that family time. We need to be able to shut it off because, we do. I feel like as women, we are constantly thinking about everything else that needs to be done. But to really be present in those moments are going to be where those memories are made, or what your kids remember and all of that. And so just trying to have that conversation. I feel like even with my kids being young, like
Mhm.
they're all under 12, that having that conversation, they may not even understand what I'm saying. My 6-year old, whenever I'm talking to her about, starting a business and, having the social media things that I need to run, it probably goes out one ear and out the other. But I think just letting her know that this is a reason and a purpose, and it's creating
Right.
something for our family. And so whether she gets it now, I feel like she will get it later, and then still trying to carve out those times to just be 100% present, and making myself more aware of that throughout the process too. So
Yeah, I know. I just told you too, like I just had that experience the week before last when we were getting everything ready to officially pre-launch and the kids were out of school. And that was hard. Like that was
mhm.
really, really hard because I had so much to do and the kids were home. And it's trying to get them to understand, like, even though you're out of school and we're home, like, I still have things to do. And so there was one night where Jillian was like, "Mom, come lay down with me." It was bedtime, and she's like, "Mom, come lay down with me." And I was like, I really can't. Like, I have stuff to do or whatever. And she ended up falling asleep, and I felt so bad. Especially, I already felt bad, and then the next morning, she hit me with the, "You didn't even come lay with me last night," and I was like, "Oh
Oh, straight to the heart.
man." Yeah. And so, that the next day, like I made it a point. I was like, when she was ready for bed, I stopped because at the end of the day, all they need is a few minutes, right? Like I knew that the second I went lay down with her, within 15 minutes, she was gonna be passed out and I could get up and come finish. So it's just, making sure, like you said, to carve out that time or making sure to
Mhm.
have those conversations, even if they may not fully understand. I think that's where it's at, right? It's just
Yeah.
the conversations and we as the parents saying, because we can get caught up in the, oh, I need to do this or, I need to do the dishes or whatever. But guess what? Like the dishes can wait. They're going
Mhm.
to get done, even if it means to go spend some time with them and then come back to it later, even if it means you're going to have to stay up a little bit later in order to do whatever you want to do before bed, even if it means that you have to get up earlier in the morning. That's why we preach so
Yeah,
much about
that's what I do.
getting up early in the morning, because if in order to make sure that everyone gets the time and attention that they need, desire, want, whatever, like that's why that morning time is so important. It's just to
Mhm.
have, like I said, even if it's 30 minutes to yourself to, do the reading, personal development, whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
Or if it is just, I'm going to get up in the morning to pick up in the house or get things ready
Yeah.
for the day, make the lunches and stuff. So that way, when it is time to get ready, that everybody things go and move a lot smoother and the kids feel like you're actually present and there.
Mhm.
And I think that's where
I
a lot
feel
of it's
like
at.
that's my day. It's like chunked out. Like wake up early. I think I've got my body on a time clock now that's like 4 o'clock. And I know that sounds super early and crazy, but I have to be at work for 7. So, and I have to get the kids ready and do all those things. So 4 o'clock from like 4 to 5, that's my time to either work out, read, journal, do any of the things for me. And then I start getting ready, get the kids ready to go to school. And then after, it's kind of like our homework family time, and then it's like me and Kenny's time just to sit and talk without the kids. And then after that, I have caught myself just, with all of this new stuff starting, is going back to work after that. Like, even if it's late
Mhm.
or waking up early on some days and, doing stuff in the morning. That way it's not impeding on our family time. But at the same time, you still want to allow yourself to not feel guilty for having something for yourself. And I feel like that's where we were talking about, like this is something that we're starting for us and for other people, and we know how like important it is, but at the same time, and we want our kids to own that also, and to really understand what we're doing. But I think it's just going to be, having that time for them individually, and for them knowing that, like, okay, mom's here, her phone's over there, or whatever, and just having that one-on-one time, I guess.
Yeah. I think that in order to help with that guilty feeling, because it's so hard. That's the part that it's hard to, it's feeling, having that sense of feeling the balance so that way you don't feel guilty. And it's like,
Yeah.
so I think that, if anything, if I can give any advice, I'm giving the advice to myself as I'm
I was about
giving
to
it to
say,
you,
we're
right?
speaking it to each
I'm
other.
I'm speaking it because it's something that we're both dealing with. So it's so real and so present right now, because it's always a thing, right? But
Mhm.
we're feeling it even more so right now. That's where we're like, we got to share this, because I know that everybody deals with this, that mom guilt feeling whenever you're trying to do something for yourself. Is that if you do put in the time and effort to make it a point to, have dedicated time for, the kids, your spouse, whoever it is, then that's when we can kind of put that guilt aside. So whenever they do make those
Mhm.
comments, like, I can say wholeheartedly, I know that I have
Mhm.
made conscious effort to give you that one-on-one time, or I know that I have later on today, like, let mom finish doing this. And we are going to have, our time in a little while when, we're going to go do whatever, so, and just
Mhm.
having that conversation with them. Again, it's just the conversations. And if I know that I've put in that effort and that I have that time carved out to give to them, then maybe I won't feel so guilty,
Yeah, I mean,
you
I
know?
100%, and I feel like moms especially feel that way whenever they start something new. So whether it's a new routine or a new hobby or something like that, because your kids are not used to you having a life outside of your family. Like, I feel like the first time I tried to do something different, they were like, "Wait a minute, like, you're not putting all your time and energy into just us. It's like you're actually using some of your time for yourself. Like, what is this?"
Heaven
So
forbid.
I know, we have a life. It's funny because even as a teacher, like, the kids think we sleep at school. Like, they have no idea that we have a life, like, outside of the school. So it's very much the same with your family and your kids. And so I feel like that's where that mom guilt comes, because they start like questioning you, like, well, why are you doing this? Or, all these different things. And it's like they also need to understand that we're people. We have wants, needs, and desires just as much as they do. And so, I mean, sometimes, like, even including them, like I said, we'll go work out together, like, as a family outside. Now, me and Kenny's workout won't be as great as it could have been if we were kid free, but some of those things, it just brings them into your bubble and lets them know that, like, this is why, like, it makes me feel good. These are things that I enjoy, or this is going to help us later on. And so I'm very big on that. And I don't know if it's because, like, and not to say anything to my parents because they were great parents, but, like, growing up, we just didn't have those conversations, like, or my mom did pour everything into us. So, like, I never seen her have anything outside of our family. And we were talking about that last night too, that I just think that that's what I want my girls to see. You know, I want them to be able to look at their mom and be proud of the things that I have accomplished or the things that we're accomplishing as a family. So
Yeah.
that conversation, I think it helps a little bit with the guilt. Of course, they're always going to, you know, they're kids. They're going to say whatever they come to their mind. But
Oh, yeah.
I think just being honest with them and kind of letting them in on the way that you're thinking or feeling too always helps.
This episode is brought to you by MBS Fit Co. Excitement is in the air at MBS Fit Co. as we prepare for our upcoming launch. We're introducing a line of premium activewear designed to seamlessly fit into both your workout routines and daily life. Our versatile collection is perfect for your workouts and equally suited for your day-to-day tasks, ensuring you look and feel your best, no matter the occasion. It's not just clothing. It's a commitment to self-care and embracing your best self. Be the first to experience the fusion of style, comfort, and functionality. Subscribe to our VIP list and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for insider information and exclusive perks available only on our launch day. Dive into the show notes for all the links you need. MBS Fit Co. is more than just activewear. It's a lifestyle. Join our community and be part of our exciting journey from day one to celebrate fitness, self-care, and your hero within. Don't just wear it, live it. All right, now let's dive back into this episode.
Yeah. And even too, just on the days when like, you know, when sometimes the overwhelm sets in and there's those days when I'm just like I just need a break. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like,
Yeah.
I just need a break because I know y'all can relate. Like, I can't even go pee without a
Yeah.
kid. I'm like, I swear Jillian can like sense
Sense it.
my movement or so, like she can sense when I change rooms because I was just telling my husband Corey this the other day. I was like, Jillian will literally be sitting in her room, you know, while I'm working or doing whatever it is that I'm doing. I could be cleaning. Who knows what I'm doing, right? And she's being quiet and she's playing by herself. And it could be like a good solid 30 minutes. And I'm like, I swear to you, the second I get up and I'm so quiet, right? Y'all know, I know y'all feel me. Like we're so
Tiptoeing through it.
quiet. We're like tiptoeing, right? And like the second I sit
Oh,
in the
yeah.
bathroom, she's
Yeah.
like, Mom. And I'm like,
Mom, what you doing? Where you're
what?
at? Yeah.
Like I'm just like, I'm like, how did you know that I even left or that I moved? I'm like, I think they have like this sixth sense
Mom
that like
radar. Yep.
we left. Yeah. I'm like, how do you know? You know, or whatever. So like I can't take a shower in peace. I can't go to the bathroom in peace. Like I can't change, like nothing. I have an audience 24/7. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, sometimes you're just like, you know, let me breathe for 2 seconds.
Mhm.
So there's that too. I know that's a whole nother,
That's why I go hide in
kind
the
of topic, but
closet.
it's
Like I had a whole thing
yeah.
on my TikTok, Closet Chronicles, because that's the only place I can go where I can talk to people or myself in peace and quiet. But now they have figured that out because Milana saw my TikTok and now I'm like, great, now you know what I'm doing in there. So that lasted, just a little while, but it's so true. You can't even get like a second to yourself sometimes. And so even trying to explain that to them, they just don't understand because, they're kids. But at the same time, that's whenever the other side of us or our personality comes out, because then we start getting like agitated or aggravated. And it's like, we're not trying to take it out on you, but like, I just need a minute. So I almost is like, Mom needs a timeout. Like, just give me a little bit. And then, I'll come back to you when I'm ready and we can, deal with whatever we need to deal with.
Yeah. Or like on a totally different topic, like right now, because again, like TMI, right? But I mean, we're all women, like we all have cycles and hormones and stuff like that, and it fluctuates throughout the month. And I'm just like in that time when I'm just like, my energy levels are so low. And so I can't oh gosh, the struggle is real to like be as present too as I normally could, because I just don't even have it in me because my body is just physically shut down, or just the brain fog, right? Or just like I told, again, me and Mandy were talking before this, and I told her, I was like, I feel right now like my head's in the clouds, like I'm on autopilot, like I'm just going through the motions, and I'm like, it's such a crappy feeling, like that doesn't feel good. And so I'm even like that with my kids. Like sometimes I have to like I'm listening, but I'm not listening.
Mhm.
And it's not intentional, because there are the days where I'm listening, but I'm not listening, but it's very intentional. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
You're
Like,
like, "Yeah,
like
okay."
that volume, like I can just turn them off. And because Corey
Mhm.
tells me that all the time. He's like, Jillian is talking to you. I'm like, huh? What?
I know, we're so
I know
used
y'all
to
know.
well, yeah, and even as a teacher, like, you
It's
get
like I
used
can
to,
tune them
like,
out.
tuning kids out, and you're like, "Oh, yeah, hey, sorry. I'm here. What did you
Yeah.
say?"
Right. You were talking to me? My bad.
Mhm.
But yeah, so just those are other times during the month, I guess is what I was trying to say, when it's just difficult, when it's your energy levels just aren't there, and
Yeah.
just have it. I don't know. It's just there's so many times where we just experience the mom guilt. And so I guess that's really what we were just here to say, is just that, like, we get it and we're with you. And it's just one of those things that we may not talk about so much, again, out of, shame or whatever the case may be. But like, it's a real thing. Like, it's a real thing to experience that mom guilt or have your kids make those comments. And it's just trying to do our best to just balance it. So that way, you know, for me, it's when I lay my head on my pillow at night, knowing in my heart that at least I tried, and
Mhm.
because if not, that's really when the mom guilt sets in. It's always, again, we go to bed at night just like we do it in the morning when we wake up. It's like you can't shut it off. Like, our brain, it doesn't
Mhm.
turn off, and that's when all those thoughts come of, like, oh, I could have did this, or I should have said this, or I could have handled that differently, or
Oh,
I
for
shouldn't have
sure.
snapped at them, or all those thoughts, all of everything, all of that just hits when. So it's just finding the balance, so that way I can lay my head on the pillow every night and feel like I did my best. And if not,
And I
there's
I feel like the kids the kids even realize that at some point because, like, for instance, last night, me and Chloe were texting back and forth while she was at dancing, and I guess one of their songs was about moms or whatever, and we had gotten into, like, a little tiff before dancing where she's, "Oh, you just never let me do this," or, just going on and on about how horrible I am, and she texts me and she's like, "I know I say silly things sometimes that I don't mean, but, like, you're the best mom ever." Just like this great message. And I'm like,
aw.
okay. Like, same with us. Like, cause you're talking about like snapping or being a little feisty, and we all get like that. And if you
Mhm.
don't think you do, you do, like you have to kind of own that
Yeah.
and be self aware in yourself to know that, like, we're not perfect. We all do that same thing where you try and go to bed and you're like, man, I should have handled that differently. And so the kids also, I think, feel like that. And it really comes down to like a self awareness for both situations to kind of like, okay, my kid might be having
Mhm.
a bad day, or, just like I do. So, not letting yourself feel so guilty for certain situations because, everybody has their days where they're going to be better than other, and you and your kid might just be on a total opposite wavelength for the day, and then the next day's fine. So I think we beat
Mhm.
ourselves up more than they even realize half the time.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I can tell you this too. Like, I know that I apologize to my kids when I feel I need to. Like, in
Mhm.
those days when I do snap, like, I'm very big on, when I take that moment that I'm like, like that, and I'll tell them, like, and again, that just goes back to the conversation, just explain, like, I'll say, I'm sorry, like, I shouldn't have snapped, like, I'm just super tired or whatever. And not
Mhm.
necessarily, like, I hate to make excuses, but it's the apology, and just, again, explaining like what's going on, so that way they understand. And same thing,
Yeah.
like you said too, like, Jillian knows when she's done wrong, because that's whenever I get like the sweet notes from her.
Yeah. I
That's when
love
I
you,
get
mom.
the yeah. I'm so sorry. I promise I'll be better. Can I please still have those shoes that we talked about?
Yeah.
That's what I've been getting lately. She's on her shoe kick right now, that she wants all these shoes.
Ready to go shopping.
So you're not alone. You're not alone. That's what we're here to say today. And we're all going through it together, and it's okay to speak out about it too, and to talk about it, because carrying that and not having someone to go to, a friend or whoever, that's hard. So it's nice to
Mhm.
just, I know Mandy and I went off, we called, got on our call to start working. And then we just went off on this whole tangent of talking about all kind of other stuff. And an hour later, we're like, okay, we're supposed to be doing all this
And
work, but it's just,
podcast.
Yeah, and then but then Mandy was like, she's like, "That was just needed." Like, sometimes we just need to get something off our chest and just to have that person to talk to and relate to, right? Because
Mhm.
you're not in it alone. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
all right, y'all. Well, that's all we got. I hope that this episode resonated with you in some way, shape, or form today. And if not, yourself, if you have a mom friend who's been going through it, share this episode with her. Leave us a review. I know we're trying to build our podcast episodes, our podcast in general, and just trying to get our names out there so we can help more and more people. We have a lot of really great interviews that are coming up. We've already done 2. We have 2 more for sure scheduled. We have 2 or 3 others that we've reached out to, and we're hoping that they'll be scheduling with us soon. So y'all stick around, and we actually have some really good other topics that we talked about that we're going to talk about on our duos. So we have a lot more coming. So stick around, and we'll catch y'all soon. And as always, you are strong, you are capable, and you are worthy. We love you, and we're endlessly rooting for you. We'll catch y'all soon.
As we wrap up another episode of Finding My Best Self, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you for joining us today. You being here makes the journey much more meaningful. Remember, every step you take, no matter how small, is a leap towards discovering and nurturing your best self. If you found value in today's episode, please feel free to subscribe to the podcast. Your subscription helps us reach and inspire more amazing women like you. And if you could take a moment to leave us a review, it would mean the world to us. Your feedback not only supports our growth, but also helps other women find this empowering space. Don't forget to share this episode with a friend, family member, or fellow hero in your life. Every share spreads a little more empowerment and inspiration. And for an extra dose of motivation and community support, don't forget to sign up for the VIP list for MBS Fit Co. By joining, you get exclusive access to our premium, versatile activewear and fitness essentials, carefully designed to inspire and accompany you on your self-care and fitness journey. Follow us on our social channels too for daily inspiration and a peek into our latest collections. You'll find all the details and links in the show notes. Joining our VIP list is more than just a subscription. It's your entry into a world where fitness and self-care are celebrated and every step towards wellness is cheered on. So until next time, keep shining, keep striving, and keep celebrating the extraordinary woman you are. Thank you again for tuning in to the Finding My Best Self podcast, where every story is a step towards finding your hero within. We'll catch you next time.